Welcome to the MiniVerse podcast. We do movies, TV shows, and everything in between. I'm your host, Neil Green, and here's my other host,
Nicholas James Evelyn.
Now, let's get right into it. What do you want to do, Nick? What do you want to start with?
Well, there's some things we have planned. I think we should start about kind of who we are, what our favorite movies are. How about that?
Okay. I enjoy quite a few movies, mostly sci-fi or just drama in general. I don't enjoy romantic comedies, as I'm sure most people don't, because
I would agree.
Yeah, they're pretty terrible.
Yeah, most people don't.
Yeah, but no, we're just general. We generally like a lot of movies, and we play video games, and we watch a lot of TV shows, especially one TV show that just came out. What's it called, Nick?
Stranger Things. It's a Netflix original.
A Netflix original. So today we're thinking about covering Stranger Things. You know what we think about the general child acting quality of it. The cast. I believe one of the the one who plays the teenage girl. She was on Hannah Montana back in the day. So
I bet you've done a lot of research on
yeah,
that.
lots of research. So we are going to kind of analyze the acting quality because it is an interesting show that it relies on a lot of child actors, and not even teenage ones per se, young ones. I think they 12-year-olds. So
I don't know. 14-year-olds tend to look younger on TV shows.
Yeah, but not this one.
I don't know. Go back and forth.
Okay, guys.
I'll read you a synopsis from IMDb. When a young boy disappears, his mother, a sheriff, and his friends must confront terrifying forces in order to get him back.
So first, I think we're going to do a semi non-spoiler, a little general thing, and then we're just immediately going to go into spoilers, or we might spoil it immediately because we don't really care about you.
Either way, we'll have a spot to skip to, a time to skip to right here. I'll go to the time to go to if you don't want to hear the spoiler. So I'll probably start off with a spoiler right here. You want to start with the 8th episode? What do you think?
Well, the general idea is that, of course, a young boy, and his name is Will, and this is the first episode, so it's not going too far ahead. They're generally, it's set in the 80s, and they're basically Dungeons and Dragons nerds, if you've ever heard of that. So they're all into fantasy role-playing games, and so it's got really great reviews on Rotten Tomatoes.
It's based in the 1980s, so think Super 8. Except into an 8-hour movie. Because I read an interview with the directors and the creators of the show, and they said they were going towards more of a movie style instead of a TV show. So each episode called Part 1, Part 2, and I even read somewhere that they said if they made a Season 2, it would be more of a sequel, less of a Season 2, per se. So think of it like a super long Super 8 movie.
Yeah, definitely. And mostly, not only because of the style, but also because of the time period.
The time period, the idea of the movie, obviously,
So anyway, this boy is attacked by a mysterious force. Blah blah blah. Runs in the house, then he disappears. So no one can find this kid. We've got Winona Ryder playing the lead female, which I didn't really like Winona Ryder's portrayal of the character.
It was just crazy, too crazy over the top.
She sees this thing, she starts seeing these monsters. She thinks monsters, as Nick likes to say, and so she's seeing all these crazy things. And if you see crazy things, generally you want to explain them in the most rational manner possible. But instead, she decides to become a very shaky, sitting home alone. She trashes her house and strings up Christmas lights. She paints the entire English alphabet on the wall and sits on the couch with an axe at night. So, no one is really wanting to believe that there's a monster coming out of her wall at any time of the night.
Because why would you believe someone that's shaking?
She's like, I know what I saw.
She's like a crazy person.
Yeah. She looks like she's been off her meds for too long.
Yeah.
And so
we have my personal favorite was David Harbour. How do you say his name?
I think it's Harbor. An English spelling of Harbor.
He's the chief, and he was by far my favorite I think he was the best.
Yeah, definitely.
Best character, best writing.
It was really good. It was funny because they didn't completely just give us the backstory at the beginning. They kind of made us work for it, and also we still don't know a lot about, because it's said that he lost his daughter somehow. Well, we figure it out by the end, but we're not going to spoil it right away. But he's lost his daughter, and he seems to be traumatized. He's on he's taking some. He's addicted to some kind of medication, but they don't really like specify. And anyway,
He's an alcoholic.
Yeah, he's an alcoholic, and he's lost his wife, and I don't know. He's not in the best place, but he doesn't at the beginning. He doesn't really believe that anything could go wrong in the town because it's a very small town.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody. I mean, he said the last most dangerous thing was like somebody got attacked by an owl at the assembly or something like that.
With her hair. Her hair was
Yeah. So like nobody's really having any troubles.
And then we have my hottie Malati, Natalie Dyer as Nancy.
Sure. Okay, so we've got Natalie Dyer as Nancy. I liked her character. I don't know.
But
I don't know. There was something off about her. I didn't like her character as much as I think I wanted to. I did like Charlie Heaton's character, Jonathan. He plays the brother of the first disappearing boy, and I liked him, but like to an extent. Like there were certain things I thought it was great that he was more realistic. Like his mother, Winona Ryder, was like freaking out about the monster and the different like disappearances, and he just kind of tried to calm her down. He thought she was like coping with grief, and the husband like left them a long time ago, but he's kind of a jerk. Like he comes back and they
make him leave.
Yeah, it's not a good family situation. So generally, I think they did a really good job with this. All in all, it's a mix of a solid and dare I say it like solid child acting cast and a good adult cast.
Well, the average tomato score on Rotten Tomatoes is 92%, and the average audience score is 97%, and that's with 30 reviews. So they did a pretty good job according to Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna get into the spoilers of each episode, so I'll tell you where to skip. This will be on the screen. You have a few seconds to click it. Okay, I'm gonna read you the synopsis of the first episode. Will is hunted by a strange entity where his friends search for him and only to find a lonely girl in the woods. Well, this girl, her name is 11. She goes by Elle. Absolutely hated this character, to be honest with you. This character was terrible.
I didn't like her. I didn't hate her completely because she has some pretty. I mean, she has like telekinesis power, which is about like is the most stereotypical power you can give to somebody, and they never completely. They kind of explain it, but they don't fully understand. Like they were doing like LSD tests. It's really strange. You remember that part?
They went like back in time. Was that what they were doing?
No. Okay, so we'll just give you the main spoiler premise. Okay, so this girl, and this is like over the course of like 8 episodes, she has a bunch of flashbacks. So to explain it, her mom. They did a bunch of LSD, like they put drugs in her anyway, and they were trying to like they put.
Was her mom the one in the wheelchair?
Yeah.
Okay.
And she couldn't speak. She's just totally screwed up. So they put her in like isolation chambers and underwater to like expand the human mind or whatever. But the mother didn't know that she was pregnant, so apparently it transferred to her child. But she herself didn't really get anything, but just she became addled and like incoherent, and she couldn't really speak. But her daughter developed some kind of supernatural power, yeah. So, really,
more than telekinesis.
There was a lot that wasn't completely explained. Like at the end, she's like, she tears apart the monster, and it's like
they like disappear together.
It turned white, and then she just kind of like flaked. Like it was like Voldemort in the end of the 9th movie of Harry Potter. It's like, what are you doing, man? Like,
what happened?
Yeah,
Peekaboo.
And I don't know. It was just.
It was something. It was a good show.
It was a poor. I didn't like her character all in all, and she looked really weird, which is, I mean, it's just her
That's
body.
What they're going for, but
yeah, I mean, she's supposed to be pretty unsettling, like a sign of like childhood trauma and stuff, and she didn't talk all that much, and she was like, I don't know. She threw a guy into a wall. She snapped some necks. She wasn't very nice.
I didn't like her
in general.
But let's get into chapter 2, the weirdo on Maple Street. This is episode 2. Synopsis goes as Mike hides 11 in his home while Joyce answers some kind of mystery growling phone calls. Now Joyce is the mother, of course, in case you forgot. She's the mother of Will, the character who disappeared, the one that goes crazy that we talked about earlier. She's getting phone calls, and this part freaked me out. It didn't freak me out. But apparently she could tell it was breathing. Like she answers the phone and there's some noises and she's like, Will, that's you. And I was like, no, you're crazy.
Yeah.
but it turns out to be her son
Yeah,
on the phone.
yeah. Well, like the premise is that 11 broke a hole in space time and opened it to like a parallel universe, which they liken to like they're Dungeons and Dragons fans, so like they call it the Veil of Shadows, but they end up calling it the Upside Down, and it's like, as far as we know, there's only one monster that lives in there.
Or the one monster that comes out.
Yeah, there's only one monster that comes out.
Because there are monsters at the end, but there's only one real like big monster.
Yeah, and so it takes Will, and then it's just kind of kidnapping people, including the teenage girl's friend who does not make it.
Doesn't come back.
Yeah, so she doesn't really.
Barb, she's explained she ends up dying in the Upside Down when they go there.
Well,
I think is that the Upside Down?
It's the Upside Down. Like they liken it to the Dungeons and Dragons Veils of Shadow, but it's like it's a place of decay, and like there doesn't seem to be life, and it's so like it's toxic almost.
What I don't understand is they have to go through all this stuff to get to the Upside Down, but somehow Nancy, the teenage daughter, and and
like
what's the other guy's name?
Nancy and Jonathan. Jonathan being the Jonathan Byers being the little kid who disappears brother, and Nancy kind of go hunting for whatever the thing is. Cause Jonathan actually captures it on camera, on accident. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Nancy sees it.
Yeah.
But they find like the tear, and they go in through a tree. And I don't understand if they know that that's there.
Yeah, why? But like then that raises the questions is like, does the monster just have the ability to like open its own portals? When it took because it like closes up.
It closed up.
Remember, no, because okay, so 11 opened the first portal when they put her in the isolation tank and she flipped out because they told her to make contact with whatever was on the other side.
Okay.
Yeah, so she touches it and then the wall cracks and this. Also, the portal looked really cool.
Yeah.
Like they could have done weird like vortexy crap, but they did like it's like almost alive.
Yeah, it was.
It was really cool looking. And so,
let's go to episode 2. Are we at episode 2 already?
Well, no. I think we're just gonna kind of go off like explaining.
Okay.
I think we've kind of established a flow. So like what are we talking about? Oh yeah, so they're in the forest, and then like they see a dying deer, and then it gets snatched and it taken into a tree, and it's like all of a sudden it can just open its own portals at will that look like the original portal. And
I don't think it looked like it. It was like a red.
It was smaller. The other one was red too. Remember, it just had that stuff in front of it. They cut it and it was like pulsing and stuff.
Talking about the one inside the science lab?
Yeah.
I don't remember it being red. I remember it being like it was like a tear, and it was just like you walked, it was different.
Yeah, but it was like there was like that weird
it was like
red
green,
gel.
I saw green.
Weird. I could swear it was red.
I thought it was green, like a dark green, like that's just the color of the inside of the gas.
I don't know.
You need to rewatch it soon.
Yeah, probably. But
I watched these all in one day.
Yeah.
It's been a few days since I watched it. Took
So-
a little while.
So like Nancy gets tugged through and then like jumps back out and then it closes up and it's like, well, couldn't if it's just like chilling out here in the forest, couldn't the monster like reopen it and just grab him again? Like it's not explained, and they just kind of expect us to go with it because it kind of establishes a good point for, because like this show was really interesting in the way that like the different characters were discovering the truth at their own pace, and then they kind of meet up later, like Winona Ryder's character, the crazy mom, and the cop, who I really liked, were like trying to figure it out.
They found out everything in different ways. Like,
and then
it came to Winona, whatever the mom's name is, to her, or the cop had to go look for it. He like snuck into government buildings. Or not, was it the government? Was it a government?
Yeah,
was it a third party?
The freaking cop, like, he's like, I'm gonna go sneak into this building, figure out what's going on. So he breaks into the building, like assaults like 3 military police officers, and then somehow he just makes they let him go. Like they're like, we're gonna drop you on a couch at home and bug your house. Like when earlier in the show they just shot some dude at a hamburger joint for just seeing the girl.
Yeah.
He actually takes a tour of the offices, sees her like room, and sees the giant alien portal and almost goes through it. So I didn't understand that. If they're such merciless government killers, why?
Oh, and also spoiler. Only one person dies because of the government.
They kill one dude.
They kill one guy, and when you see that, you're like, wow. I guess they just kill people for kill.
No reason.
No,
and then
no killing after that.
Yeah. So the boys they find out that 11 can contact the other side, and like they can hear Will. You know, for some reason, Will survives all this crap. So Will's just like chilling in the other side and running around, freaking out everybody, including his mom. And
well, because you can they can somewhat hear.
Yeah.
If they're on the same area.
They can mess with electricity.
It's basically just like they're on the same world. It's basically a ghost that they can't see. Like, that's the easiest. I mean, I guess that's kind of the same idea. They could hear him, they can't see him.
Yeah.
He can mess with stuff around them.
He's doing weird poltergeist stuff, in general.
And his mom figures it out before anyone else.
Yeah, but she just looks the craziest.
And she does it the craziest possible.
Yeah.
She paints letters in her house so he can spell stuff out to her.
Freaking weird. No one's gonna believe you.
Yeah.
Even the guy who lost his daughter and really wants to believe you does not believe you because you look insane. She doesn't bathe. She just sits at the telephone. She's mean to a grocery man.
That grocery man's his boss. Her boss.
Yeah, but he's like, I need this phone. I'm obviously not in this voice.
She bought way too many Christmas lights.
Yeah, she's like, I can't see my son, so I'm just gonna string up Christmas lights everywhere. She sits in a small cubby hole, and she's like, blink once for yes, blink twice for no, and then it blinks once and he goes, oh my god! He's electricity.
Oh, dang it.
I did not like that character.
No.
Top
3 least favorite characters: number 1, 11. Number 2, the mother. Number 3, the friend of the boyfriend. What's his name?
Oh, we haven't discussed him yet.
Oh, we haven't gotten
Steve.
Let's go into Steve.
Okay, so
I did somewhat like Steve because he wasn't just a stereotypical douchebag.
But
boyfriend.
he was at the beginning.
I wouldn't say he was even that douchey. He was just this guy. Okay, Jonathan takes pictures at this guy's house from the woods.
And they're kind of stalky.
It's weird. It's definitely weird. And if I was the boyfriend, I would be mad too.
But he doesn't. But my problem with it was that he didn't confront him outright. He broke his camera, and he's like, oh, here, have it back, and then he broke it. He didn't just confront him. He was all weird and passive about it, and it made me kind of mad. If you got a problem, you should just
say something in my face, bro.
Yeah, it's kind of like that general idea. I didn't.
And he gets beat up pretty bad by Jonathan.
Yeah, and then he's okay. So he finally retaliates his friends because his friends are the worst people you can imagine.
They really are.
Yeah. So this is really Steve's redeeming moment. You've kind of hated him the whole time, or at least I did. Somebody didn't. I don't know. You've kind of hated him the whole time if you're a normal person.
I wouldn't say that because he's not a douchey person. He's not bad. He's not a bad guy.
Well, he has layers. So then he just kind of, his friends are like, yeah, we're gonna get that guy, and they talking like that, and then he's like, no, I'm done. You people are terrible. And then he just drives away. His friend, who's obviously been his friend for a long time, comes up on him, and he's like, you couldn't take Jonathan, so it makes you think you can get me. And then Steve gets in his car and pulls out in the weeniest way possible. He hits the gas and screeches out, and then almost he's driving on the left side of the road for a second.
It was a pretty weird.
At least just stare him down and go out slowly. I mean, you're in your car. It's not like he's gonna break your window.
He was hitting his car though. His friends are really scummy.
Yeah,
really scummy people.
Really terrible people.
But yeah, I like Steve. I guess I'm the only one like Steve. They stay together at the end.
Yeah, Steve gets the girl.
That's also another spoiler. Another stereotype that doesn't happen. She doesn't end up with the bad guy.
They did well with cliches. Some of the characters were kind of cliches, but then I felt I really saw the effort to
de-cliche them.
Delineate from the cliches. Jonathan Byers is probably the most cliche. He's
really.
Well, he's weird, and then they're like, yeah, but he has an artistic talent. He likes photography. You know?
Man.
Yeah. I felt the photography was kind of the nail in the coffin for that, so I couldn't really. I like it, but you could definitely tell that it's been done before.
Yeah, definitely not original.
Yeah. I don't know. I
still liked him though.
Yeah, he's
still
pretty
think he did good, as good as I could. Ugh.
Let's see what do we got here. I found there were bullies, and then 11 broke one of their arms, and I don't know, he had a knife. I don't know. Okay, so the bullies.
Well, those were the 80s too, so imagine 80s.
Oh yeah, because everything was more rough in the 80s,
I think it was.
Yeah, well, it probably was. We weren't alive.
I don't think that we carried around knives as kids.
Yeah.
But I feel like they did then.
Yeah. Okay. So there's these two bullies that keep harassing the
nerdy.
Yeah,
kids.
the nerdy kids, and 11 makes one pee his pants, which was kind of weird.
Kind of funny.
It was funny, yeah, but it definitely Anyway.
I don't know how she thought that would be like. I don't know.
Yeah.
It didn't make sense because she shouldn't have known to do that.
Yeah, she's just like, she's supposed to be out of touch with reality, and she just kind of got really in touch really fast.
Yeah.
I don't know, I felt that was kind of strange.
Wait, side note here. What's that character's name? My favorite child actor, the one that was angry all the time.
The one that, what?
The one that was angry all the time.
Oh, Lucas.
Lucas, by far my favorite child actor out of those. I thought he was really good. Caleb McLaughlin.
McLaughlin. It's really spelled like laughing, like, you know, but then Laughlin. McLaughlin.
Maybe it's
McLaughlin.
McLaughlin.
You're making.
It's MC. It's McLaughlin. There's an L there. McLaughlin. That changes the whole game.
Wait, scroll down. He's been in Law and Order Special Victims Unit.
Who hasn't been in that?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. There's so many guest stars in that show.
Law and Order, Unforgettable, Forever, Shades of Blue, Stranger Things.
I did not like Mike's acting. I thought it was over the top, like they relied too much on him.
Who's Mike again?
Mike was the main child character.
I don't think he was that good either.
Mike Wheeler.
Who's Joe Keery?
Joe Keery
had some weird hair. I will say, I saw
Steve. Yeah, it didn't seem 80s. It just seemed like pop.
It looked like he was wearing a helmet. It looked like he was wearing a helmet.
I don't know.
It was like a circle.
I could see the appeal of the hair, maybe.
That was weird, man.
I don't know.
I don't know. Steve Curry. Steve Carey. What's his name again?
Joe Keery.
Joe
Keery. I mean, we got plenty of pictures of him.
I don't know. I thought it was like a circle. It looks weird.
He does look weird. But he got the girl, and that's all that matters.
That's true. He did get the hot girl.
I don't understand how he got the girl. Like,
he wasn't a bad guy.
No.
She pointed a gun at him, though, at one point.
Yeah. That might be a deal breaker.
You know, maybe. I think I'd break up the girl. She pointed a gun at me, told me to get out, and counted down.
Yeah, but then again, there was a monster coming.
That's true. The monster, that scene was pretty cool.
The monster, oh my
That scene was really nice.
I loved the monster in this. Like, I really enjoyed how they did it.
Monster from,
it was a mix of, like, Slender Man, like, it didn't have a face, and then but its face kind of corkscrewed, like, together and opened like a Venus flytrap with, like, teeth lining the inside. But I think that, the coolest part was when they were in the school at the end, and it was approaching them slowly.
My favorite part was probably when they were in the house together.
And they set it on fire.
The fire. And they're like...
Yeah. So Steve walks in, and everybody's like, you have to leave because we just lured this thing with blood, which is... it's attracted to blood for some reason. Like
a predator or something.
Yeah, like a shark. Yeah. So she's like, Steve, you have to get out because you have no idea what's going on here. And in reality, Steve actually saved him. He grabbed a nail bat and hit it.
Yeah, only reason.
How much freaking punishment could that thing take? Like, it seemed to be wounded, but not killed by everything that people hit it with.
They burned it on fire.
They set it on fire, and it was
with gasoline fire. So that's like super hot, right?
Yeah, and I thought it was weird, like the way it entered. So I guess it is explained. Apparently, it can just enter and leave the Upside Down at will, because but sometimes it had to like tear through walls, and sometimes it didn't. Like, it would come out of the walls, and then sometimes it would just like appear. Like, there's that. I mean, they were in the house and they were trying to kill it, and then it just was like there. You know, it was behind them, and nobody could see it. I did like the light fluctuations, so that was really cool.
There's one scene that really makes me mad. It's there's a lens flare, and it doesn't make any sense because the camera's pointing towards a trailer.
Did you?
It's when they're hiding in the bus, and this kid. It's when Lucas gets thrown against the bus from 11, and he gets up, and for some reason the camera's pointing towards a bus, and there's a lens flare. That's not how lens flares work, and it makes me mad because someone had to literally digitally put that in the place. So he sat there, he or she sat there, and thought, oh, it'd be a good idea to do this.
It'd be a good idea to put this lens flare in there.
So amateur, like, it's just such an indie film thing to do, is lens flares, and I guess a lot of Netflix originals have a lot of big breaks from there because a lot of
oh yeah, a lot of, yeah. I mean, they cast like young talented directors
probably from like Sundance and stuff.
Kind of like Duncan Jones, except Duncan Jones.
Who are the directors? They're brothers.
It was not on Netflix. The Duffer Brothers.
The Duffer Brothers.
The Duffer Brothers, which is funny because like the Wachowski brothers wrote Matrix, and then you had what's the other brothers? Who were the brothers that did Civil War? Winters. They did Civil War. The Russo brothers. They were killing it these last 5 years.
There's Matt Duffer and Ross Duffer, and these guys look young, man.
Yeah. They don't even they're screenwriters. These guys aren't even
They've made 3. Let's look.
Wait, check on Stranger Things. I want to make sure. This one just says he was a writer. But maybe, I guess they were the creative influence. They may not have directed the actual acting, though.
Well, director. They were directors for Stranger Things Hidden.
For only 6 episodes, that they only directed 6.
Huh.
Yeah. These all look like they've got 2 shorts and 1 full-length something.
I wonder how they even got...
Wait, they did something on Wayward Pines, which is a M. Night Shyamalan show on... it's going to drive me crazy. On Fox. It's on Fox right now.
Huh.
And apparently it's supposed to be okay. It's just one of those, something's going on in the woods, what are we going to do about the woods?
I guess I'm the only one that likes M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah. I think he needs to get into movies. Apparently Wayward Pines is good, and then he had The Visit. That was, he kind of seemed to nail that horror movie, but I think it's a sad sign when your career gets picked up from a horror movie, you know what I mean? It was like, okay.
Yeah.
And it got like 65%, didn't it?
64.
64. Dang, I got really close on that.
Yeah.
I'm feeling good about myself.
M. Night Shyamalan. It's just so sad.
Yeah.
Oh wow, makes me sad.
The Babadook.
The Babadook was good, but
I never
watched
watched
other
it.
shows.
Yeah.
Let's stay with this. All in all, at the end, I really enjoyed it. Glad I watched it.
Yeah, definitely. We have to talk about like what's gonna happen next season.
Oh, I don't even know if there will be a next season. It's
They set it up though.
They might have at the end.
Yeah. Okay. So we have to cover what happened to Will.
What happened to Will?
Like so Winona Ryder's character and the chief. Joyce is the name of her character.
Is Will the kid that gets
Will's
lost?
the kid that get Will Byers.
Yeah. Okay.
So the government people let them in. Like they decide that no one's gonna survive, which I guess the only reason they survived is because the teenagers were distracting the monster at the time.
Yeah.
And then it was drawn by blood. Like it didn't seem to care, because there's that scene where they send like a trained army professional in and he's just killed immediately, right?
Mm-hmm.
You remember that? But then but this guy was too preoccupied with murdering a whole school of like military officers.
So the government lets the chief and the mother in, thinking that they're gonna die.
Yeah, they don't think they're gonna accomplish the.
That's what.
Yeah.
But the monster's actually at the school with the kids, and then the government people go there to capture 11.
Which, by the way, the chief sold out 11.
He did. He goes.
Yeah.
He was like, "Oh, it doesn't matter. You gotta get the kid back."
Yeah.
Kind of scummy.
But at the same time, I hated 11. So, but
That's
I feel
true,
like
too.
if I was an actual person, it was a child.
But freaking the chief was supposed to be like the noble good guy.
Yeah.
And he
No, I disagree. I think he was the flawed good guy.
Yeah,
I think he was noble but flawed.
Yeah.
And I liked him because he did make the tough decision. Like, it was the only way they were getting out alive. It was also the only way they were going to.
I feel like they could have dragged that decision out. We had to think about it, but it was just like.
He's just like, you're going to let us out of here. And
Here's 11.
But I don't think they really had anything to gain. Why did they let him in to the Upside Down? Like, he literally could have just told them, and then they could have shot them both. Because then again, these people are the merciless killers that killed the burger joint guy. That was really
for no reason.
Yeah, and then they're just like, they make all these other choices that don't seem to correspond with what we know about them. You know what I mean?
They just did that. I don't know.
That was
think
so
that was
weird.
a mistake.
I think that was a weird. Because they seem to have like Brenner. Dr. Brenner is the one who experiments on 11.
Yeah.
And she seems to believe that she's like related to him, which. She isn't. So she's not, she's not related to him.
She got some Papa, right? Papa.
Yeah, she's like, Papa, don't.
Papa John's.
They put her in a freaking isolation chamber early in the show, and she snaps these guy's neck, and he's like, "Great job," So it's like
lots of snap necks.
Yeah,
from her.
she loves.
She breaks bones a lot.
She breaks bones
with
she
her
makes
mind.
Eyes bleed, which you enjoyed. I've seen that before. How have you not seen that before?
I don't know. Seems tough.
I think it's a cliche.
Shut up.
So I've seen eyes bleed in movies before.
I thought it was cool, but okay, yeah. So at the end, 11 dies somehow. That's not explained. That was weird.
And she doesn't There's also that Easter egg at the end where she might not have died.
Yeah. Well, the chief goes to a party, and also let's go one side note right here. I didn't like this one part because there's so much stuff that shouldn't be explained to the people. Like, why are there dead bodies inside of the school that come from the government after the monsters kill them? They shouldn't know that. But at the very end, there's some newspaper clippings that it zooms out of, and it's like, oh, all this. It just says all these things in the news, and they clip out and put it on the wall for some reason. I thought it was a really cheap way of just explaining something. Very poor very poor, lazy storytelling.
I disagree. See, I think at that point, the only way to explain like the epilogue, you either have some way where people aren't explaining it, like it's words, because otherwise it's like, oh, by the way, this happened. It's like it's like a soap opera, like they explain the story every 5 seconds.
It's lazy.
Well, what else are they gonna do? Make a whole nother episode explaining the epilogue?
They shouldn't be in that position in the first place.
Why not?
Because that's not. You can't just have one thing to complete. I don't know. I feel like it was kind of lazy.
I didn't think it was lazy. I thought it was a good job.
I feel like they should have been in that position in the first place, but I didn't like that. And then, okay, so it zooms out of the newspaper clippings, and then the chief walks into this little party, and he grabs some bread. What does he grab?
He grabs some bread and like some sweets and stuff, and then
there's one.
He grabs Eggo waffles, and we know that 11 likes Eggo waffles from earlier in the show.
Somewhat of a big deal. She talks about it a lot. But and then he goes out into the woods and puts it inside of a little package, so she might still be alive. She might be in the Upside Down.
I want to ask you, at what moment did you know 11 was gonna die in the show? Like, at what moment you're like, she's dead, they're killing her? You know what I mean?
As soon as he asked her to the dance.
Really? You were that early?
Yeah, because it was like.
I thought she was gonna get captured, but I didn't think she was gonna die because, as we see, Brenner has some weird, like he loves her somehow. Like he picks her up, and he's like, "We're gonna make you better," but then we also don't know like whether or not he just lost a $3 billion contract to like been on this girl. He's like, "Oh, we have to make you better." You know, they just changed the wording. Oh my God, so much money done in pain.
What was I thinking?
Go back. We were talking about the Eggo waffles in the box.
Oh yeah, no. So Will, was it not Will?
It's not Mike? Will. It's the chief. It's Harvey.
Mike has this crush on her. It's so obvious.
It's so weird.
I didn't like it.
It's uncomfortable. They're children. I think we already covered this.
Yeah, we did. But the entire time he's denying that he likes her, and then he asks her to the dance. And that's the most awkward scene in the whole show. It's
so weird. And then he kisses her, and I'm like, that is basically like not. You shouldn't have you're like 12. You shouldn't have those feelings yet. It's just weird.
I didn't think that. I just thought the acting was weird.
I didn't want to watch it. It was the age for me. I mean, the acting was bad, but I also didn't want to watch just the age.
I didn't care too much about the age. I've seen.
The age freaked me out.
Is My Girl the same? I don't know. There's a lot of movies. I think that was weird. But I just thought that the acting was so bad. And that whole scene, that whole way the actors took it was just so awful. So bad.
I like Toothless.
The Mexican kid?
He wasn't Mexican.
Oh, he wasn't?
No, he just he had no teeth. Remember?
I'm sure he was Mexican, man.
He wasn't Mexican.
Let's look up and see what he is in real life.
Well, this makes great podcast material.
Toothless.
Hey, y'all can listen to us typing on the typewriter.
Stranger Things.
No one's gonna listen to this crap. We're talking like we have viewers.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
What's his name?
It's Toothless, but
he's not Toothless.
Yeah. Well, obviously his name is the dragon from How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah, that's definitely a Mexican last name.
Gaten Matarazzo.
Matarazzo, that's a Mexican.
Matarazzo.
He's only been in 2 movies. How did he get this role? That's crazy.
He's in Blacklist. That's a TV series with. Fun fact for you: the guy who plays the evil villain. Well, I mean, he's a good guy too. It's really strange. He also narrates the voice of Ultron in Age of Ultron too.
Oh, cool.
No, just Age of Ultron. Sorry.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I
Interesting.
Something Spader.
I would give this movie, this show,
8.5 out of 10.
I'd say 7.5 out of 10.
Really?
Yeah.
Feel like you want to fight over that?
No.
You feel like you want to get violent over that?
No. Not today, Neil.
Okay.
I thought it was okay. I thought there were some things I could have done better. I'd give it an 8, not a 7.5.
Okay.
Because there's just little small things that I didn't like, and I feel like that it didn't take away from the whole movie. It's just things that annoyed me.
And we figured out that the chief, 11 might still be alive. Like, I hope not. You know.
Oh, and the chief's son dies or daughter.
No, it's daughter of cancer.
Cancer.
Yeah.
Cancer. That's his backstory.
Right. Cancer.
So, welcome back, viewers that didn't want to listen to the spoilers. That was like 15. 20 minutes you missed.
What are we moving on to next? I think we're doing things that we... Okay, you want to talk about your obsession with Fight Club?
I'm going to talk about my favorite movies.
Oh my god.
Love Quentin Tarantino. Quentin Tarantino, a movie
I enjoy Quentin Tarantino as well, but... You know my dad doesn't like Quentin Tarantino?
Yeah, you told me.
Well, he does, occasionally, but, the reason he watched The Hateful Eight, he's like, it's too bloody. It's like... he's like, well, I was like, that's Quentin Tarantino. He's like, this is all part of, Quentin's weird... fantasy. We don't need this much blood. It's not necessary.
It's art, Mr. Green. I know you're listening. You can't censor art, Mr. Green.
I don't know.
I love Quentin Tarantino. I love all of his movies.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Inglourious Bastards yet though. I don't know why.
I think it's like it's semi-funny, right? It's like a weird dark humor.
I thought that Hateful Eight was really funny. I was laughing during the movie.
Oh,
I don't think it was supposed to be.
I thought it was
funny.
I thought it was pretty funny. I like the weird Channing Tatum.
I thought there were supposed to be
thing.
like chuckles. I didn't. I laughed like crazy.
Yeah, I like the Mexican Joe or whatever, and like.
I can't even remember what I thought was funny. It was the way they talked. Like the little things they said.
The scene that was over the top for me was like when.
Dude, they were really violent.
Like that was one of Quentin's most violent movies, easily.
Yeah, definitely.
Easily, because he just had
Kill Bill though. Kill Bill
was pretty bad, but Kill Bill was like almost comical.
Yeah, that was different. This is like bloody, gross.
Yeah, it's really gory. It's
loved Hateful Eight though.
Yeah.
Love anything Quentin Tarantino for the most part. Kill Bill, I don't.
Pulp Fiction.
Maybe I don't understand Kill Bill, but I watched it and I was like, it's cool, but
it's just cheese.
It's like my least favorite Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah. I like Pulp Fiction.
Love Fight Club.
We agree on Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, of course. Pulp Fiction. Who doesn't love?
I like Reservoir Dogs.
I'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
I love Reservoir Dogs. Love Pulp Fiction.
I
love
like
Fight Club.
My favorite scene in Pulp Fiction is when they shoot the guy.
Yeah, they're in the car.
back of the car.
What's his name?
Mike. It's an M, right?
I think it's Mike. That's what it sounds.
He goes, boy, you shot Mike. He's like that. I love John Travolta. Why does John Travolta always have to dance? He always dances in his movies.
John Travolta, man. He's in the Church of
Creeps
Scientology.
Creeps me out. I'm
He's a
creeped out
weird
by
guy.
John Travolta.
Yeah, wasn't he in
Uma Thurman overdoses on heroin.
He was in
She
it was
snorts.
cocaine. It was cocaine.
No, it was heroin because remember she found it in his stuff and she snorted it.
You don't snort cocaine. You don't snort heroin. You inject it.
But she didn't inject it.
So
It was like powdery. No. And I hate that I'm explaining heroin to you.
Wait,
but
no,
heroin
you use like the spoon, right?
Yeah, it's a powder at first, and
so she thought it was
it's
cocaine.
diluted, and she goes and just immediately overdoses, and then I love this scene where he goes to the junkie's house and like he's got
guys, really cool fun fact. When he like shoves the needle under her chest,
the adrenaline needle.
They did it in reverse, really fast, and that's how they made it. That's how they made it seen. They filmed it backwards and they put it in reverse, and that's how they had it shoved it into her stomach. Quentin before special. I don't know. I don't know how it's made now. Special effects. I'm not sure.
Well, Pulp Fiction wasn't like a lifetime ago.
It was like 22 years ago. No, 32 years. No, 22.
Yeah. I mean, they had
1994. So.
I'm glad that you know that.
1994 was an iconic year.
1999, man.
Kurt Cobain died. Justin Bieber was born. Pulp Fiction came out. Shawshank Redemption came out. Forrest Gump came out. The Blue Album by Weezer came out. Iconic year.
Iconic. Just unforgettable, except if you weren't born in 1994, in which case you easily forget it.
It's so funny.
Oh my gosh.
I want to get into movies, critically acclaimed movies that I absolutely hate.
Okay, what do you hate here?
Boyhood.
Let's start with Forrest.
Did you
Forrest
see Boyhood?
Gump.
Let's start with Boyhood.
I don't think I've seen Boyhood.
Wow. It's filmed over 12 years. And
is it the one where the child ages up?
It's the one where there's no actual plot.
Yes, I've heard of it. I have not watched it. I know that it's like...
I feel like what they did is they filmed... Okay, the idea is cool.
It was more artistic than, like, actually entertaining, right? Is it the idea?
I didn't even think there was any...
Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it. I hated it. I've seen it twice. Worst... Oh, God, so bad.
Kings of Summer, though.
I like that movie.
I enjoyed that movie.
It was a little bit cliche.
Yeah.
It was like one of my first cliche indie films I ever watched, so I didn't realize it was cliche indie
I like the scene with the machete. He's like, I'm scared of what he's capable of.
Oh, let's go. Let's have a flashback here. Neil didn't want to watch this. He was so mad. He was pouting about it.
What did I want to watch?
You wanted to watch something else. I don't remember.
Pacific Rim all the way.
Yes, Pacific Rim.
Was it Pacific Rim?
I think so.
I don't think it was Pacific Rim.
I think it was actually you watched Pacific Rim earlier that day.
Yeah. So there was something else I wanted to watch.
I finally got him to watch it, and this kid wouldn't stop laughing. He does this.
It was great. When I get into something and I want to laugh, I laugh. I get in like chains, so I start laughing, and then it's just like I can't, even if it's not funny, just everything starts seeming funny.
We watched Rick and Morty last night. This kid, he laughed 21 minutes straight without stopping.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
It's the one with the Purge.
The Purge episode.
The Purge episode.
We love Rick and Morty too.
Yeah, we enjoy some Rick and Morty.
Let's go back to Boyhood. I feel like it was filmed for 12 years, and 4 or 5 years into it, they're like, man, we have no real plot or actually film value here, but it's too late to turn back now, so let's finish it out. I saw a comment.
I just felt like it was more artistic. I felt like it was more of an endeavor than it was any kind of marketable idea.
I don't know. I feel like you can make an artistic movie and still have it actually good. There was no real plot. It was just him growing up. I saw a comment on Reddit that I thought was really funny. I was looking up like critically acclaimed movies that I didn't like. In Reddit, some kid on there said Boyhood, and this comment was really funny. It was like it took. This guy said I hated Boyhood, and then another commenter said it took 12 years to make though. It's so good. And he goes, well, so did Harry Potter, but they actually had a plot and likable characters. And I thought that was really funny.
Yeah, but it's just different.
Yeah, completely different. It's so funny though.
Yeah.
I hate Forrest Gump. Absolutely hate Forrest Gump.
You don't like Forrest Gump?
I don't like Forrest Gump.
We have a friend that likes Forrest Gump quite a bit.
We go to his house.
Yeah.
And they always have it on.
Yeah, it's either that or freaking
Full Metal Jacket.
No, War of the Worlds.
War
of the Worlds. There's always I'm staring into Tom Cruise's stupid face as he cries about his kids.
It's you, Harry.
Yeah.
We're at his house right now. You want to say hi, Harry?
Okay, Forrest Gump is the only movie I've ever cried on.
Oh, that's
Jenny died of AIDS.
Let me tell you why I don't like Forrest
Cares
Gump.
about Jenny.
Let's talk about why we don't like Forrest Gump. That's all we need from you, Harry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But the reason I don't like Forrest Gump, I feel like they skip over anything before you can actually care about it.
Mama.
hate-
She always said.
I hate how they just. I don't care about anything that ever goes on in his life because it's so fast and it's just gone before you can actually care. Second reason, it won Best Picture in 1994 over Pulp Fiction and Shawshank Redemption.
Pulp Fiction, I know that.
Yes.
And Shawshank.
Okay,
Okay, those are far better movies.
Much superior. It was just like American pride propaganda. That's all.
American, like it was like to
It's
be
like,
kids,
yeah,
I'm proud
America.
to be an American.
Gotta be an
Or
American.
at least I know I'm free.
You know,
oh my God, use the South a bad rap, mate.
It's something. It's something.
Oh, great.
But maybe it's better than I think. I just really love Quentin,
I felt like I was
and I
Forrest
really
Gump,
love
and
Shawshank.
I represented hope. Have you seen that SNL skit?
No.
He's like the children were following me like I was Forrest Gump and I represented hope.
Have you ever seen that? It might be no, it's not an SNL skit. Have you ever seen like those ESPN documentaries like 60? Is it 60 for 60 or 30?
Don't ask me about sports.
But it's really funny because it's like a 60 for 60 over Rocky, and when he fights the communist, it's really funny. It's like halfway through, I saw something. The entire crowd started cheering for the other guy. It's the first time in sports history I've ever seen that, and it's just making fun of Rocky. Really funny. But I saw it like on Philip DeFranco or something. He put a link to it.
And as
Pretty
we all
old.
know, I hate Philip DeFranco.
Yeah, I can see why. I'm starting to get.
I'm
on
sorry.
there.
I started out. Like
I love Philip DeFranco, but he is a little bit.
He wears on
pretentious.
me, man. Like he's like hypocritical as well.
Yeah. I don't want to say hypocritical. I just think it's a little.
I think he's a little bit of a
He's a little
hypocrite.
bit too proud of himself, which I would be too if I was.
I mean, he's
successful.
accomplished a lot, but.
But I still
luckily,
watch him.
there's basically no chance that he'll ever listen to this.
Maybe we'll get really popular.
But, you know,
what if he became like
Philip DeFranco? If you
you're watching
eventually
this,
listen to this,
I
I'm not apologizing.
I will. I won't apologize, but I'm still a fan, and I would still love to be on your show.
I wanna talk to Steve Zaragoza.
And
really
don't bring this up because it might be a little bit awkward for a little bit. He's really into Pokemon Go right now. We're in the Pokemon Go phase, so if you listen to this in 5 years, when we're famous.
When that was the thing.
Pokemon Go, super huge right
there
now.
There are Ratatats everywhere.
Ratatats, Rattatas, whatever they are.
Ratatata. Every time it evolves, it gets a new ta-ta-ta-ta.
Boy, so what's my
Okay,
third?
so we were on.
Oh, Dark Knight trilogy.
Let's see. Okay, so we were gonna cover the Dark Knight, and then I think we're gonna cover something on Disney.
It says, how do you feel about Disney's turn from targeting all audiences, from kids to adults, to targeting only children?
I don't think that's true. I think Disney's fallen into a formula.
Didn't they make that Running movie, like McFarlane?
I didn't like McFarlane. It was just
it's
a
just boring.
formula.
Dude, I'm telling you, running is boring. Who actually likes running?
You like running.
I hate running. I'm just decent at it.
Do you run with earbuds in?
No.
Oh, dude.
Pirates of the See, don't really like that. See, the new Pirates of the Caribbean isn't just for kids, so I don't agree with that.
I enjoy. I watched Stranger Tides the other day, and it was actually funny. You know the one
Parent
that's
Trap?
kind of
This movie is OG.
the old one.
No, the new one.
That's the old one. You just clicked on.
Dude, back when
I mean, they used to make. And by the way, if y'all ever rewatch Peter Pan as children, as like adults or just older people, it is the most like racist sexist piece of crap. Like he's
Really?
like, yeah. If you ever got back, he's like,
No.
girls are so stupid. They talk all the time, and then it's like he's like
They're also like kids.
he's oppressing Wendy. The Native Americans are like these incredibly racist portrayals of them. It's like they're caricatures of themselves. I don't know. It's hard to watch.
2003 version still? Like even the 2003 version?
I haven't seen it. What's the 2003 version? Oh, that live action piece
that's
of
a live
crap.
action.
Yeah,
Okay, I didn't
ew.
know.
1953.
Oh yeah, this is back when racism was okay.
When
bet
there was
you-
a time for it. Okay, guys, there's a time and place for racism, and apparently it was 1953.
Until like, well, I mean still.
Yeah, I mean, Steve Buscemi can
Have
get
you ever
away
seen
with it.
Another movie, critically acclaimed movie I don't like is the entire Batman trilogy. With Christopher Nolan.
I enjoy it, but I felt
Oh,
like...
wait, sorry.
Wait,
sorry.
okay, yeah.
I don't like Batman at all. I don't like most superheroes. I hate. The only superhero I like is Spider-Man. I like Deadpool, but he's not a real superhero. Completely different.
He's an anti-hero.
I have a love-hate relationship for Deadpool, but it's for another podcast.
I enjoy superheroes. I am the complete opposite of Nick on this. I really, really like superheroes, although I try not to let it like obscure my ability to criticize movies fairly. What was okay? So we were talking about the Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy.
I can't say the whole trilogy because I've only seen the first two, and I didn't even bother to watch the third one because I dislike the first two
The
so
problem
much.
with the third one was like breaks in logic. You know, like The Purge.
I can't get into it.
Okay. So I'm gonna explain this part. The third one, the part I had, heals his back in like a month. He has a really short time to heal his back. Somehow he gets from the Middle East all the way back into quarantine Gotham, like without any money. There's all this stuff. But the second one, The Dark Knight, this is the one that you can speak to, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. So Heath Ledger, it's like, his performance as Joker was great, and it was great. But I felt like his death, and untimely as it was, it seemed to kind of catapult the movie.
Well, it's all a conspiracy. He's still alive, and the entire fake death was just to
gross box office numbers.
Yes.
But no, I feel like I do feel like it was a good movie, but the amount of just complete and utter like devotion it gets just because
Well, same with
people are just
Fast
like,
and
man, I
Furious.
love the Dark Knight. Yo, what is with Fast and Furious? We're gonna get on a tangent here.
No, it's too late. This podcast is going to come to an end soon.
Next
week we're talking
got
about
10 minutes.
Next week we'll talk about Fast and Furious. That's like a 20-minute subject, 30-minute subject.
Okay, let's keep on Batman.
Okay, Batman. I thought it was cool. Not that cool. I thought it was overrated. It's not terrible.
No, it's a good
like,
movie.
If I give it a 1 out of 100, I'd probably give it like a 60, 70.
I give it like an 80. It got like 90 something.
Yeah, it's like the number 10 best
Yeah.
movie on IMDb.
I mean, The Patriot. Come on, with Heath Ledger, he dies. All of Mel Gibson's sons have died. I wonder if that's true in real life. Probably not.
But I thought the beginning of the Dark Knight.
Yeah.
What's the second one
The
called?
bank heist. The second one's Dark Knight.
Yeah, the beginning of the Dark Knight.
The third
was
one's The Dark Knight.
Very cool.
Oh, sorry.
Very cool.
The third one's Dark Knight Rises, which is weird.
What's the first one called?
Batman Begins.
I think that Ben Affleck had a better bat. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
Do you bleed? I love that line.
I never saw Batman vs Superman.
You didn't see it?
No.
It was so crammed, and Zack Snyder was like, gotta put everything, and then he grabbed. Yeah, it was all like it was comic fan service, but like at the same time, it was just like how much, like all these things that could have been individual movies. He's like, let's just jam them all into one movie. It's like he got like a bunch of marshmallows and was trying to make them into like one compact
That's
marshmallow.
really funny. That's really funny.
Yeah, but
It's so sad.
hopefully
I had some
Suicide
high
Squad
ex-
will be better.
Is that by him too?
No,
I don't know.
luckily. And then the Batman
Luckily.
solo film is being directed by Ben Affleck, who did Argo, so that'll be good. Hopefully.
Argo.
I trust Ben Affleck.
And Ben Affleck we trust. He was in Dazed and Confused, which is one of my favorite independent films. One of the greatest independent films, in my opinion, ever made.
Dazed and Confused? What's that, Nick? Please explain.
Dazed and Confused has no plot, but it actually did it right, unlike Boyhood.
I'm like, oh.
Dazed and Confused, you know that. Everyone knows it. Okay, Dazed and Confused, already did a synopsis off of IMDb.
Oh, why not? Typing on a keyboard, really interesting, sound-only material.
And the adventures of a high school and junior high student on the last day of school in May 1976. So if that doesn't tell you how there's literally zero plot at all, then I don't know what will.
Hasn't the movie Men in Black, like, MIB mixed with 21 Jump Street been confirmed, they're gonna make it.
What?
They become I heard that. Search this up real quick, and I'll keep talking in order to cover the dead space you're creating right now. But and yes, I'm being very passive aggressive. But apparently it was confirmed, and I guess don't quote me on this until I think it is. Look,
This is dumb.
you know what was really
This is dumb.
you know what was really sad? Did you hear about the Gambit film?
No.
Okay, so you know who Gambit is?
No.
Okay, did you ever watch X-Men Origins Wolverine, the most god-awful Wolverine movie? Okay, so there's this character, and he can, infuse cards with energy, blah, blah, blah. So, everybody loves this character. He's a fan favorite. He's from the Bayou. I can't even do a New Orleans accent, so just kill me now. But, they were going to make a movie of him, and it was going to star Channing Tatum, which is, amazing, because I really enjoy Channing Tatum. I feel like he's trying to make a switch over to a serious actor, although why he still does Magic Mike movies, I will never understand.
Channing Tatum?
Yeah.
I mean, what are you saying? He's a good actor?
Yeah, I think he's he was in Hateful Eight. He did really well. Even though he died. So
sad. Rest
yeah,
in peace.
poor guy.
He was in what's the name of that movie? This Is the End.
Oh yeah, I love
That
it.
was really funny.
Dude, I loved the
Can we
part.
watch that tonight?
Probably.
It's already 11:20.
Yeah.
You gotta wake up at 7.
Yeah.
We'll be
But
fine. Who cares?
time is
We are
inconsequential.
children in summer.
No, we're not. Please don't call us that.
We are children in
You're
the summertime.
you're juvenilizing everything we're doing right now.
We are children in the summertime.
Okay, so we are going to end this podcast.
Right now, no more. This is the end.
Yoda.
Hey, Yoda.
Yoda.
All right, thank you for listening to our very first podcast. I can assure you that the production quality will go up in the coming episodes if you stick around.
We're the MiniVerse.
For the MiniVerse
We're
podcast.
the MiniVerse podcast.
Thank you for listening. Have a great night, day, or any time.